As a parent, we all have growing pains when it comes to our children. We know there's no manual regarding parenthood, and even with assistance from grandparents and other family members, the trek is challenging to say the least. When I was in the household with my second born son, the aforementioned was easier to deal with as I was the logical man that attacks all issues with the God hand. Not abusive, but firm. In addition to that, the same way I am now, I was then, as far as making something out of nothing. I also had the wherewithal to live it as I speak it, which I received some life and professional training from the CARE program, best explained in a video that I dropped called How Did Happen here on YouTube. Check it out. The program gave me some direction and put focus on where it is that I was to go in life. To Jesse Teverball and the staff of the CARE program, I say salute. Even though at the time I was unemployed, the checks I did receive, I bought a computer, a one-drawer disc copying unit, CD and DVD sleeves, and started copying movies and music that was in my personal collection. I got many viruses downloading other music from LimeWire, fixed the boys' bikes, and took them with me, selling movies and music while showing them how not to get robbed, how to handle crowds and money, and anything regarding business. Oh, did I mention that one of the boys was not mine? A man must only take care of his seeds. 3 years ago, my son's mom was having more issues than usual with a teen transitioning into adulthood and the perils of it all. She sought out my assistance, rightfully so, as I was the best to help my second born in this situation. She complained of disrespect, poor hygiene, damaging property, flippant attitude, theft, and not living his true purpose, to name a few. At this time, I informed her to recollect when we were in household and me getting in both boys' asses regarding dumb shit that they were doing that reminded me of my troubles growing, and that I had the best plan of execution to combat the issues. She fought me on every move that I could come up with. Admittedly though, I wasn't working but always had checks coming in, and so I could kinda see why she would be hesitant to follow my lead, but again, and more critically, I battled and won in the very areas that these boys were experiencing. So many times we hear a woman complaining about no good men, no father figures, etc. And the whole time, in actuality, it is them, the woman, who stands in the way of men's way of getting things done because they lack foresight, or their foresight is of delusion. This isn't me bashing. This is me saying I seen this coming, and you, the woman, stood in the way via parental interference for your own selfish reasons. There was even a time when the child support was started, and early on my son's mom called to politic for more funds, and my sentiment then is the same as now. You ran to use the system against another ebony person for profit? Go back there. And your ass backwards, when we could have found a way to not be a part of the system, or to have the system in our business. My next sentence will prove it. When I told her to go back to daddy government, she then said the most egregious thing, and that was that my son could not see me until I paid more money. She even told my son the same and made him call me to repeat what was already told to me. Essentially, what she was saying is, pay me for having your child, and to be honest, had I knew that or was better acclimated with the toils of fighting the system, I would have just paid a surrogate. I wanted the child, but I should have chosen a better mom or a better person. So during 2017, all I heard was from my second son's mom was that his behavior was all my fault. Logic was used in the convo to help her understand that all my troubles during my teens were of my own doing and had nothing to do with my mom or dad, and it was so for my son. Bottom line, even if it was my mom's or my dad's fault, me acting up, I still made the conscious choice to do dumb shit, and so did he. Her argument was, he's just a child. A child that's doing grown man shit and will pay a grown man's price eventually. My attempts to nip it in the bud went sideways. I grew weary of constantly hearing this is your fault this and your fault that and he's a child, and as I predicted, my second born constantly heard his mom making excuses for him as opposed to being accountable for his actions. He became more and more defiant and relaxed in foolery, but only when he was around her. Strange, but not. Makes you go, I politicked for my son to come live with me and for her to relinquish guardianship, making me solely responsible for him, and she denied the request. And even though men wrote the laws are written for women. Meaning if I was to fight her on it, I would have to fight the system as well. Playing dirty. Woman playing dirty. I tried to get to her understand. I tried to get her to understand that when woman goes to the system, the man is charged 4 times, if not more. Once via paycheck garnishments, twice via tax return being taken. The third way is the administrative fees, meaning I'm paying for the mother to have the baby and then paying for other people's kids by providing them with a check. Lastly and fourth, whatever's left, the mom received. I said the mom and not the child. It's because the check is for the child doesn't mean that the child benefits from it. We all know folks like that. Now, there are going to be detractors to this fact, but I have communications from my son asking for money for some trivial stuff. And when I asked him, why haven't your mom bought something like that? And then he replied that he didn't know, which prompted me to ask, are you still living with her? Of which he replied, no. And it all made sense from that point. My son was doing music, and at the time my YouTube channel was fairly new. And I asked him to do a song for the channel, and I would pay him for work done. He agreed, but never fulfilled the request. Had he done that, he would not have to ask for cash, as he would have been earning and participating in business, which is helpful in the music business. I watched him go down the rabbit hole on social media, smoking blunts live on Facebook, throwing hand signals gang-wise, and walking around with his pants off his ass. I wasn't raised that way, so you can understand my displeasure at it all. Yes, I expressed the very sentiment about that behavior that he was participating in, and that it would get him nowhere, and to be better than your best or former self. He always agreed, but never complied. I even removed his mom from the equation temporarily before she found a way to get his code for his Facebook, pretending to be him. I communicated with him directly to meet me on a train as he had done before and come where I am in an attempt to undo some damage and put his perspective back on track to no avail. As they say, he was too far gone. And even with that fact, I did not and will not give up. I appreciate the love and support that you are here when you could be any place in the atmosphere. For the new viewers, provide a subscription and a like if you got anything from the quality content provided. Tune in every week for the Weekly's Fridays Food series and often to view new video drops. All support links and contact info are in the description. Let's make a better you and me while making history. I am Rasta Kilbo for Rasta's Realities. Until next time, peace to you.